think. All right, we got audio. Don't want to make that other rookie mistake, not have any audio. All right, I think we're all good. Got my microphone. Stream health looks good. I think we're in business. Just gonna make sure my cords are all out of the way. So if you joined me earlier today, I did a haul from the Goodwill bins. I spent, I think $39, $36. And I don't know how many items I got, but right now I'm gonna be photographing those. So I'm gonna be measuring, photographing, all that kind of stuff. I gotta go get my camera, hold on. All right, I'm back. I'm still getting over this cold. It's like, I don't feel that sick, but colds just can be the worst, you know? No fun. Okay. Oh, I've got to get my folder. I'm so ill prepared for this live stream. I'm sorry. Okay. I think I'm good for now. Okay. Got all my tools. So what I need with me is I need my backdrop, which is hold on, sorry. I'm looking at the preview and it's like my screen is flickering. I hope it's not like that in real life. Okay. If my camera is flickering or there's like any audio quality issues or anything like that, please let me know. Whew. Gosh, I'm like out of breath. It's really important for me to have good quality for these things. So, and when you're live, you really can't check. You can only do like a test run, but that doesn't guarantee that when you actually do it, everything's gonna be right. Whew. Getting warm. It's been a busy day. Woke up really early this morning and I went to the Goodwill bins. I got there first thing when they opened. Came home. Sorted my items. I have stuff going in the laundry right now. I shipped my items today. I only sold 3 items in the last 24 hours, which is kind of slower than normal and kind of a bummer, but what can you do? I'm wondering if other people are having slower sale days as well. So right now I'm just going to be listing all of those items that I picked up, or not listing, but my sister's going to be coming over later today, which is fun. Okay. Kind of all over the place. So as I was saying, what I need when I'm doing this process is I need my clothes folder. I need scissors to cut any like thread or tags off. I have my scale, like a little bin to put in the scale. I have a lint roller, rubber bands, stickers, a pen, lights. And that's it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna just start taking photos. These are some cute shorts. Like, this has just a little string sticking out, so just use my scissors to snip those. Okay, where's my camera? Okay. I wonder if you guys can hear my dryer right now. It's really bothered me. It's just enough. I was talking about this in the previous live stream, but I really got my camera settings like dialed in. If you don't do this when you're taking photos, I just figured this out, but you can even do it on most smartphones. Like on my Android phone, I can do it, no problem. You just, it's called exposure compensation. So it dials up the exposure a little bit. And what that does is it makes the whites a lot whiter. But if you're not photographing a white item, like the color remains the same of the item. It's just like it blows out the background. 15, 11, 15, 10, 4. So when I do measurements, I always do the waist, the rise, and the inseam. I kind of wanted to have a topic of discussion for each of these videos that I'm doing, because I think, like for example, I think the Goodwill bins haul, or like the hauls, I think those videos like kind of speak for themselves, but I think for videos like this, it'd be helpful if I had like a topic to talk about, because there's not that much to talk about when I'm just taking photos, you know? So, with that being said, what I wanted to talk about today is why I started reselling on eBay and how that all happened. So I think I mentioned this in some other live streams, but I haven't had a job for, oh my gosh, I think it's going on 8 or 9 months now. And I used to work at a digital marketing company, but that really sucked the life out of me. And it's been really hard for me. Like, if I wanted to, I could get a job, no problem. Like I have a lot of really good experience. I have a good resume. I have good references. So if I wanted to, it really wouldn't be a problem to get another job. But at this point, I just can't see myself doing that. It was really, I think one of the biggest reasons that I ended up leaving the company was I had felt really taken advantage of. And I guess, if you're working for somebody else, it's really inevitable to feel that way. At least at some point, because when you're working for somebody else, you're the one in the trenches and doing all of the really hard work. Whereas the owner, or if it's like a corporation, the stockholders, like somebody else is getting most of the benefit from your work, if that makes sense. So like, for example, when I worked at a marketing company, we charged our clients, like we billed them by the hour, and we charged our clients $115 to $125 an hour. But I only got paid, I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was probably close to $20 an hour. So it's like that extra $100 is going to somebody else. Like obviously it goes to overhead, like rent and office equipment and stuff like that. But when you don't have a say in how that money is spent, it really sucks. Like if you're like really busting your ass and making all this money for the company, and they're just spending it in really stupid places, and you're not feeling rewarded for the hard work you're doing, it's really discouraging. So I think that's one reason it's going to be really hard for me to, if I do end up having to like get another job. Because by the time that I left my last job, it came to my attention that my team of 4 people was basically bringing in like 80% of the revenue for the company. And the company was like, we had 14 people working. So 4 people were making 80% of the revenue, whereas the other 10 were making 20%. And one of the reasons that I ended up leaving was I found out that the people that were actually, like, the teams that were losing the company money, if not making them any money, were being paid more than me. They got preferential treatment and all that kind of stuff. So I just felt really shit on. So it's gonna... I just don't want to have to work for somebody again, you know? And I know some people, like... There's a lot of people that love working for other people because when you work for somebody else, it takes off so much stress. Like, I would never want to own a marketing company because the stress and the responsibilities are just insane, and I just wouldn't be able to handle that. But at the same time, I would love a job where I'm in control of... I guess I think the biggest thing and the biggest appeal is like being in control of your own time. Because when you work for somebody else, like, you give somebody else 10 hours of your day. So like they're essentially like renting your time and they're renting your life. You know, you can't... You're giving 10 hours every single day of your life to somebody else. And, you know, obviously you get benefits. Like you get to live and you get to pay rent and all of that kind of stuff. But I think if there's like another option for me, that would be so much nicer, you know. If I could still pay my rent and pay my bills, but not be, I guess, dependent on somebody else. This is a really cute skirt. Did I take measurements? Shoot, I didn't. Sometimes when I'm blabbing my mouth, it's hard to do my process. So 16 inches by 25. So anyway, on to how I got into eBay. I guess continue on to that. Got off on a tangent. But I ended up leaving my job because there was like so many reasons, but I think the biggest one, I was just really overwhelmed and just a bad time in my life. It's like when I left that job, basically I feel like my life blew up. Like, shortly before I lost my job, like I lost my grandma, my husband lost his grandma. Like the last couple of years have just been hard. Like in the last 2 years, I've lost my grandma, we've lost our dog, we've lost our cat. My mom has gotten diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer. My husband has lost his grandma, his other grandma. He just lost his grandpa. I lost my job. Like, there's just so many things that were horrible. But by the time I ended up leaving my job, it was like a culmination of all of these things that just really hit me all at once. And it ended up being like the perfect time, because a week after I left my job, we found out that my dog had bone cancer. And we had known she was sick before that, but we didn't know what was wrong. So it was like a week after that she got the diagnosis. So it was actually, like, when I look at it, I am so glad that everything ended up the way that they did, because I was able to spend the last time that she had left in her life. Shoot. These shorts have a hole in it. I'm horrible at noticing these things. I thought those were in such good condition. But anyway, if I didn't leave my job at that time, I wouldn't have been able to spend the last 3 months with her. And the last 3 months that I had with her was obviously really tough. We ended up not doing treatment because it's a long story, but we ended up just doing basically hospice care. So we were just keeping her comfortable until we felt it was the right time to put her down. So I was just so thankful that I was able to spend every single day, 24 hours a day with her during that time, because she was just so special to me. And if I was working, I wouldn't have had that time, and I probably would have always regretted that. But anyway, so I left. It was a weird thing because I put in my resignation at work. I think I put in my resignation on a Wednesday, and then my boss was out of the office, frequently out of the office, but he was out of the office, and he didn't get back till Friday. So on Friday morning, he called me into his office, and they just let me go. So it's kind of confusing, because it's wait, I quit, but are you firing me or what? So that was weird, because I was a really good employee, and I dedicated a lot of my life, so it was kind of hard to just be dumped like that. But it all worked out. But then after I left that job, I started a skincare business, which now, 2020 hindsight, that was a horrible idea. And I think, in reality, I feel like I probably just did it because I wanted to be at home and I wanted to be doing something. I didn't just want to be sitting there. So I needed something to do. But starting a business when your mom was just diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer, your dog is dying from bone cancer, you've lost a lot of people, and there's a lot of sadness in your life, it's not the best time to start a business. So that really didn't work out for me. So I still have that business, but it's just I'm not putting my effort into it because it's kind of hard to explain. But the way that I think about it is doing eBay is very you don't have to put a lot of mental effort into it. You just have to do work, whereas if you're creating a new business, and especially a new brand and all of that kind of stuff, it requires a lot of mental work, and it requires you to be really clear-headed and really dedicate all of your emotions and effort and thoughts into creating a brand. And with all that stuff going in my life, I just couldn't dedicate all that to a business. So I think eBay really calls to me because it's something that I can just it doesn't require a lot of brain power. It's just something that I can do. It's just work. And that's what I really need right now. I just need something to wake up every morning and do and keep me busy. I had considered going back to work at Starbucks, because I worked at Starbucks for 3.5 years, and that's that's a job similar to eBay, where it's just very work based. You don't have to think a lot. It's not a lot of mental dedication. You just you show up and you do your job. So I had considered going back to work at Starbucks. But I would prefer to be working from home. So that's why I think eBay really called to me. These are really cute jeans. I still haven't looked up comps, but I think just because they're I think they're size 24. Hope they'll sell pretty quick. But I think the 30, 23, 23, 11, 23, 11, 18. I think the things that appealed to me about eBay are the same things for everybody. You know, working for yourself, owning your own time, the flexibility. Flexibility is huge for me. Like when I worked at Starbucks, that was the one thing that I hated most about the job, is that you have no flexibility. It's like taking vacation is really hard. Calling in sick is near impossible. So like, you know, if you have like a doctor's appointment or something like that, like you have to just work around your work schedule. Like your life just runs around your work schedule, and I'd rather my work schedule work around my life. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get the clothes that just finished in my dryer. Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 1:16.
Okay. My sister should be over here about 2, so I think I'm probably gonna end this stream in about 15 minutes. If you have any comments or suggestions or things that you want to see me do or things you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. Super open to feedback since I just started this channel. If you guys want me to do hauls while I'm standing on my head in my underwear, put that in the comments and maybe that will happen. Just kidding, that won't happen. It's funny because this is so this is my second YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel, but that one's kind of dead because Google killed it. Oh man, this sweater has paint on it. I thought this was a stain. You guys, I did horrible with like checking quality of my items before I purchased them. Say I'm gonna have to throw out those Nike shorts and throw out that Nike sweater. It just always makes me feel dumb because like when I'm at the bins, I'm like, why hasn't anybody picked up this Nike? It's in perfect condition. And then I get it home and then I'm like, oh, that's why. I'm an idiot. I was actually thinking about bringing a black light to the bins. Because black lights will obviously show like gross stuff like bodily fluids, but they also show like really any sort of flaw. I have like a blacklight flashlight that I bought when we had our dog. Well, because we have a dog, and sometimes they pee in the house, and it's not always like apparent. So I like having a black light in the house just so that you can like see the pee. But I was thinking if you bring a black light to the Goodwill bins, like I was wondering if it would show up, like if you'd be able to use it and see it while you're in the store, because they do have pretty bright lights. But a black light shows like really any flaw. Like if you take a black light and you shine it in your bathroom when the lights are off, like you'll see any sort of like splatter or like really any sort of dirt. And so I think that like a black light, if you take it to the bins, it might show like any stains or like tears. It like might make those things more obvious. Or maybe just bring in a flashlight, because like there's just these things like these shorts, for example, they had a tear in them. And you don't see the tear because it's so small. You don't see it unless it's under these really bright lights. So that just keeps happening to me where I don't see these flaws until I'm taking photographs of them. And you know, it's not a huge deal, because like I paid less than $1 for these items, but still I'd rather not have to buy it and throw it out, you know, because that sucks. Yesterday I sorted through all of like my junk stuff and stuff that I've just put aside, and I ended up throwing out probably about 20 pounds of clothes, which is about $30. And if I could have just avoided not buying that, that would have been nice, you know. I guess that's the thing about that and one of the main reasons that I'm doing only shopping from the bins for the first like month or so, excuse me, is that I'm learning all these rookie mistakes. Because like these are rookie mistakes, you know. Not seeing these holes and all that kind of stuff. That is a total rookie mistake, because I shouldn't be buying stuff that has holes in it. So if you guys have any tips of how you check items before you purchase them, let me know. Mostly what I look for is I look at, like if it has a zipper, I check the zipper. If there's buttons, I check all the buttons. I check the armpits. I check the crotch. I think that's about it. Anywhere where there's like, where there could be wear. This is a really nice shirt. This is the Zara Man Slim Fit Small button up. I actually feel like I don't even know if I'll list this, because I think my partner would really want this. I haven't run comps for Zara Man yet, so I don't know if it's worth selling or worth giving to him. I do have to say, I've been having a blast with this live streaming thing. I'm actually, so like I said, I have another YouTube channel. It currently has like over 1,000 subscribers. But what had happened was I had a Google Adsense account, and that's how like Google pays for monetization on videos. So I had this Google Adsense account, and my Adsense account had gotten banned like 6 years ago. And the reason it got banned was because I had wanted to like start building websites and like making money online. And so I bought a book from the Goodwill that was like SEO for Dummies, or search engine optimization. And it shows you how to build a website and get ranked on Google, get free traffic, and like put Google ads on it and make money. But what I did was I had followed this book that was like a couple years old, And because the information was so outdated, the tactics that they were suggesting in the book were like banned by Google. So I had done all these tactics, which are like called keyword stuffing and stuff like that. And so Google had banned my Adsense account. And because I had my old YouTube channel linked to that Adsense account, like they banned my Google or my YouTube account. So like right now I have a YouTube account with 1,000 subscribers and I can still post to it, but it's basically like banned. So there would never, ever, ever be a chance of me ever making money from that channel. And it's like, I'm not doing this for the money, but at the same time, like if I'm building a channel, like I would like to have the opportunity of monetizing it sometime down the line. Because obviously doing YouTube takes work and it costs money, and if there was never any potential for getting rewarded like financially for what I'm doing, especially for like the cost, like buying the microphone, like paying for faster internet, like that kind of stuff, it's not worth it. So anyway, I'm trying to get that channel reinstated, and if I do, I'll switch back over to that one. Because ever since Google's like new Adpocalypse or whatever update, in order to monetize your channel and to make money, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 hours of view time in the last 30 days. Which, like, for most people, I don't think, like, if I was doing like a DIY channel, like that would be so easy to get. But I think like the eBay reselling community is so small that I feel like that will take me a while. So if I could just get that account back, I would rather have that head start than like starting from scratch. But you know what? Like I said, I'm having fun. I'm not doing it for the money. Although the money would be nice. So far I've thrown out 3 items from my haul this morning, which sucks. Next time I go, I will certainly get some breakfast and coffee. Not having that coffee has cost me money. This is a Ralph Lauren extra large women's shirt. I mentioned in the haul that it had some fake tan staining on it, and so I washed it and it still has that staining. It's not very bad at all. It's just a little bit darker. But because of that, I'm going to have to list it and notate that. I do always like to sell my items. I like to mark them and list them as being in like, I say like no flaws under the condition. I say gently used with no flaws, because I don't want there to be any flaws. I don't want there to be any tears. I don't want there to be any staining. I don't want anything wrong with it. But I don't think it's a big deal. Like, somebody will buy this shirt and they will probably get an amazing deal on it, and they won't care that the collar is not as crisp white as the rest of the shirt. So this morning when I went to the bins, it was the first time that I had gotten there, like, before they opened. Because they open at 8, and I usually get there about 8, but they seem to always open a little bit early. So this morning I got there really early. And boy, was it interesting. I think people are just insane. Like, when I got there about 7:50. There was like a mob line of people. There's probably 30 people there already. And as soon as they opened the door, like, people just shoved their way in. And everybody's like fighting for a cart and like pushing each other and just being really aggressive. And I'm like, dude, there's just no reason for this. That's why I don't, like I said, I don't usually go for like the bins I just put out. It's too stressful for me. I just made an eBay sale. Sold Under Armour women's extra small leggings. You hear that money coming in? So right now on my store, I have a 50% off sale going, which I always price my items a little bit high because I do want to always have a sale going. But 50% off is a pretty big sale. But because I have the big sale on, like, some of my items are only $4. So I put buyer pay for shipping on all items. And I don't know, like, I totally prefer that. I think it's just a mindset thing because I know that, like, the price that I'm getting for it, like, I don't know. I think it's just hard for me to calculate shipping because it's always different depending on where the person is. Like the size of the item, whatnot. So it's just so much easier for me to do calculated shipping. So I think it's hard if you're doing sales and including free shipping, because then you have to, like, if I'm doing a 50% off sale, I have to, like, think about what's the original price of the item, then take 50% off, and then adding shipping. It gets really complicated for me, at least, to think about. So I'd rather just, like, I mean, I don't even mind, like, selling an item for $2 because I just don't mind. I don't mind making a tiny profit as long as they're paying for shipping and I'm not out any cost for that. And then the other thing is, like, I don't know why this is, but when the buyer pays for shipping, they always pay more than what I'm charged. And I think it's because, like, they pay the retail price of the shipping. So, like, they'll pay $3.75 or whatever, which is retail. But then I pay retail with the eBay discount. So I still make, like, extra money on top of that. So I don't know, I see that as, like, a little bonus. And I think once I get things kind of finalized, I really do want to go towards free shipping and free returns because that's what eBay says that they want now. These are really long. These are those really weird men's, like, stretchy golf pants or some sort of weird pants. Normally I thought, like, Nike stuff said what kind of sport it was, but this just says Nike Team, Nike Fit Dry. I've just never felt like pants that look like this that felt like this. Like they look just like dress pants, but they feel like athletic leggings. It's weird. Measurements for men's pants are always so much easier. Like I don't understand women's sizing. It's all just vanity sizing, you know, to make people feel better. I guess men maybe don't care as much. But it's nice, like when you have a size 32, that means it is 32 inches. So a lie flat measurement should be 16. It's easy. It's like with women's, you have the like 00 to like 24 or whatever, but then sometimes brands will sell in inches, and then sometimes brands will sell like Chico's, and they have their own weird sizing. And then some brands just have vanity sizing, where like what would be an extra large, like they list as a small just to make people feel better. Don't get that. Alright, I'm probably going to be on here for another 10 minutes. This is a Maurice's shirt. I just got it because it's cute and good condition. It's a size large, so it's not plus size, which is what I would prefer, but it's cute. I always thought that using my phone camera was like the way to go and would be so much easier, but using a dedicated camera is a lot easier. Cause like you don't fill up your phone. I just pop the memory card in. The images are way higher quality. The background looks better. I don't have to edit them as much. All around better. So if you have a standalone camera, give it a try. I was gonna say it'd be nice if my camera was Wi-Fi connected like my phone, but it could be, but it's a Sony, so it's just really complicated. Like it has the Wi-Fi feature and all that, but it's so complicated. Ooh, my mouth is dry. This was my find of the day. Cabbie extra small. I wonder what you call this. It reminds me of like a Indian? No. I don't know. This is a really nice piece though. This is a Cabbie shirt, which I don't understand why Cabbie is so expensive. If anybody knows more about the brand, let me know, but it sells for a lot. only slept like 2 hours last night. I'm getting so tired. I'm usually the type of person, like, I don't have trouble staying asleep, but I have trouble falling asleep. And last night was like the first time in forever that I had trouble staying asleep. Like, I would fall asleep and then wake up 10 minutes later and then be awake for like 4 hours. So, it's a stupid night. Normally I'm such a good sleeper. I feel bad because my husband has problems sleeping too. 18, 28. But he has trouble staying asleep. And so it was always hard for me to relate. And I was always like, at least you can fall asleep, like, because I'll have problems like falling asleep. So I usually get up between 6 and 7 in the morning, and there's a few times a week at least I won't be able to sleep until about 4 a.m. sometimes later. It's just like my brain just won't turn off, and there's just can't sleep. So I always thought that would be more frustrating than being able to fall asleep but not stay asleep, but I think they're both equally frustrating. It was very frustrating last night to keep waking up because it's like, I did it, I fell asleep, and then you just wake up 10 minutes later. See, I'm getting tired. I have this song by Zed called The Middle stuck in my head. Why don't you just meet me in the middle? I'm a horrible singer. I'm losing my mind just a little. I don't know how people can like be genetically bad singers, but man, the men in my family are horrible singers. Oh my gosh, what? I just found a new feature on my phone. Or camera. Background defocus. Man. Wow. This camera is so complicated that I've never taken the time to like learn everything. And so I feel like there's so many times where I just accidentally press a button and I get into a menu. I'm like, oh, didn't know it could do that. I like laughed out loud when I was at the pin today because I was looking at a jacket and in big bold letters, like the main thing that it said on the tag was keep away from fire. And that's what these pants say too. I think that's just like good general common sense, you know? Don't go into fires. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up this stream after I fold this item. Thank you so much for joining me. I probably won't be live again today, but I should be live tomorrow. If I get all these listed today, then I'll be going to the bins again tomorrow. If I don't, I'm going to spend tomorrow listing and doing inventory, which is not fun. But I was thinking about doing, like, I can do a screencast and also webcam stream of me, like, doing listings. So if you'd be interested in seeing that kind of video, let me know. I just thought it'd be interesting because it'd be like, I'll do hauls, photograph list, measure, inventory, store, all that kind of stuff, and then do the listing. And then maybe one day I'll do a shipping video, but I'm only shipping like 3 to 5 items a day right now, so it's nothing super interesting. Alright, well, I will continue, but I'm going to turn off this live stream. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you again tomorrow. Alright, take care. Have a good evening, and I hope your work goes well. Alright, bye.